On the 2nd of December, 2010, the body of 4-year-old Phoebe Handsjuk was discovered in the refuse compactor room of the luxurious Balenciaga apartment building on St Kilda Road, Melbourne, Australia. She had fallen 12 floors down a garbage chute, landing feet first in the basement, where she bled to death after a compactor blade nearly severed her right foot. The circumstances of her death, bizarre, tragic, and seemingly inexplicable, have since captivated true crime enthusiasts and baffled investigators, earning it the moniker of a locked room mystery. This term, often associated with detective fiction, describes a crime committed in circumstances where it appears impossible for the perpetrator to have entered, committed the act, and left undetected. In Phoebe's case, the locked room was not a sealed chamber but the refuse compactor room, accessible only via a narrow garbage chute or a secure door, raising questions about how she ended up there and whether her death was suicide, accident, or foul play. This essay explores the enigmatic death of Phoebe Handsjuk, delving into her life, the events leading to her death, the investigation's shortcomings, and the theories that attempt to explain this perplexing case. Drawing on available sources, including Robin Bowles's book Into the Darkness and the podcast Phoebe's Fall, it examines why this tragedy remains unresolved and why it resonates as a modern locked room mystery. Phoebe Handsjuk was a vibrant, creative, and complex young woman, described as beautiful, with a piercing gaze and stylishly short dark hair. She possessed a magnetic presence that drew people to her. Friends noted her wit, intelligence, and artistic passion. She was an obsessive artist, constantly journaling, painting, and drawing. Yet, Phoebe's life was also marked by struggles. She battled serious depression, compounded by drug and alcohol abuse, which worried her family and friends. These challenges painted a picture of a woman who was both captivating and troubled, navigating a world of emotional highs and lows. At the time of her death, Phoebe was living with her boyfriend, Anthony Hample, a well-connected events promoter nearly twice her age. Their relationship, described as fraught, was complicated by their age difference and differing lifestyles. Hample, the son of a retired Supreme Court justice and stepson of a sitting county court judge, moved in Melbourne's elite circles, while Phoebe, at 24, was still finding her place in the world. The couple resided in the Balenciaga, a high-end apartment complex, but their relationship was reportedly strained, with arguments and tensions noted by those close to them. On the morning of the 2nd of December, 2010, CCTV footage captured Phoebe leaving the Balenciaga during a fire alarm evacuation, one of the last confirmed sightings of her alive. Later that evening, a concierge searching for a broom entered the refuse compactor room in the basement and discovered Phoebe's lifeless body. She had fallen approximately 40 meters down the garbage chute from the 12th floor, where she and Hample lived. The chute's opening, measuring just 2 feet by 9 inches, was a narrow, awkward entry point, making it difficult to imagine how anyone could enter it, especially unassisted. Phoebe's jeans were found around her knees, and there were no fingerprints on the chute's hatch, adding to the mystery. The cause of death was blood loss from deep gashes inflicted by the compactor blades, which nearly severed her right foot. Her blood alcohol level was high, and prescription drugs, including the sleeping medication Stilnox, were found in her system. Despite surviving the fall, Phoebe died in the darkened, locked refuse room, unable to escape. The scene was gruesome, and the circumstances defied easy explanation. How did a young woman, intoxicated and possibly disoriented, navigate the physical challenge of entering a narrow chute 12 floors above, only to meet such a horrific end? The police investigation into Phoebe's death was marred by errors and oversights, fueling suspicion and frustration. Within 5 days, homicide detectives concluded that no other party was involved, leaning toward a suicide ruling despite scant evidence to support it. Critical missteps included failing to secure the scene promptly, losing track of Phoebe's iPhone SIM card, and neglecting to investigate a mysterious phone number found on a piece of paper in her pocket. CCTV footage and swipe card records, which could have clarified who accessed the building that night, were not thoroughly analyzed. For instance, questions arose about how Hample's family and friends entered the building without generating swipe records, and a 13-second call from Hample to Phoebe's Nokia phone on the day of her death went unexplained.
We were completely dumbfounded when we heard that finding, when he handed that down.
Will you accept it was an accident?
I think I'd rather not comment on that. I feel a bit numb at the moment, to be honest. Disbelief. Absolute disbelief.
Phoebe's grandfather,
and you
a former
observed
detective,
the council
was so
assisting
dissatisfied
in
with
this
the police's handling
when that
he
finding was
conducted
delivered,
his own investigation, uncovering
she visibly paled,
inconsistencies that the official
and she walked out of the
inquiry
court
overlooked.
looking
myself, and the degree of difficulty would be far greater in placing an unconscious person through the hatch. Do you agree or disagree with that?
No, I totally disagree with that, and in fact proved that it was very easy. She visibly paled, and she walked out of the court looking quite stunned. She obviously made no comment, but it was written all over her face that she couldn't believe it either.
Sleep eating and the sleep cleaning. The act of going to a garbage chute and getting into it is not something that people would do on a daily basis, if ever in their life. So my view was at the time, and still is that the ingestion of zolpidem and alcohol together were going to make the entry of Phoebe into that garbage chute less likely.
The 2014 Coronial inquest, lasting 14 days, was meant to provide clarity, but it deepened the controversy. Coroner Peter White concluded that Phoebe entered the chute in a sleepwalking state induced by alcohol and still knocks, rejecting both suicide and foul play. This finding stunned her family and contradicted the counsel assisting, Deborah Semensma, who argued for an open finding due to insufficient evidence to rule out third-party involvement. Prominent QC Ross Gillies later advised the Handsjuk family that an open finding was warranted, calling the coroner's reconstruction highly unlikely. The locked room mystery archetype, as defined in detective fiction, involves a crime committed in a seemingly impossible scenario, often a sealed room where entry and exit appear unattainable. Phoebe's case fits this mold not because of a literally locked room, but due to the improbability of her entering the garbage chute unassisted. The chute's narrow dimensions, combined with her intoxicated state, make the official narrative that she climbed in voluntarily seem implausible to many.
To identify Phoebe after she died.
As awful as that was for you, how important was it to see Phoebe for the last time?
It was very important because, as I said, I wouldn't believe it till I saw it. It just was, no, she's not dead. She's not dead.
The absence of fingerprints on the hatch and her jeans being pulled down further complicate the scenario, suggesting alternative possibilities. In locked room mysteries, solutions often hinge on misdirection, hidden mechanisms, or overlooked details. Robert Ady's Locked Room Murders catalogs over 2,000 such mysteries, identifying solutions like external attacks, animal accomplices, or deceptive witnesses. The death of Phoebe Handsjuk is a locked room mystery not because of a sealed chamber, but because of the seemingly impossible circumstances of her fall. Was it a tragic accident, a deliberate act, or something more sinister? The botched investigation, the coroner's controversial ruling, and the physical improbability of the event leave more questions than answers. Phoebe's vibrant spirit and tragic end continue to captivate, as her family seeks truth amid a maze of uncertainty. In the tradition of locked room mysteries, the solution remains elusive, but the pursuit of justice keeps Phoebe's memory alive.